Today's featured matchup, presented by Mercedes-Benz, we have an elimination match between the representatives from CBLOL and the LCS. And for fans of both regions, the stakes could not be higher. On one side, Pain Gaming's Titan, CBLOL's most internationally experienced player, on Brazil's most famed organization, are fighting to keep the hopes of the CBLOL alive and advance in the tournament.
PNG have the attack to CarioK, should die, no! The smite! Just in time! A comedy there, but Titan is clutch!
Titan has proven himself to be a confident and aggressive player, but he's going to have to prove himself once more against a team that was one series win away from an undefeated split in the LCS.
Chris just goes, yep, I'll try and 1v3, and now Shahu doing the same. He has to flash away, get out of there while this renekton TL running them down.
His direct counterpart, Yeon, has time and again been a point of power for Team Liquid on the world stage. But the LCS second seed have yet to win a game at this tournament. They are now both playing to remain in Worlds 2024, and Yeon is going to have to pull out all the stops in order to shut down Titan and Pain Gaming.
Hype matchup in the bot lane and hype matchup overall, the Battle of the Americas. We've got Pain Gaming versus Team Liquid. They're both up against elimination. We have a very special guest with us from the CBLOL broadcast. Takeshi, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a little spoiler for the next year.
Yes, the future, the future.
Becoming America's region, and here we are.
Yeah.
Like, and Jet, I don't want to be mean,
Yeah.
but in the beginning of the day, I saw you saying that nothing different from MZK winning and Team Liquid winning would happen today.
Yeah.
And you are wrong. The first one, right?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm usually wrong a bit, so I got it out of the way. I can't be wrong twice in a row.
Oh.
Surely.
Takeshi, before we go on, it's true that you are the most successful ex-CBLOL pro player to never win a title, allegedly.
Yeah, I'm like I think the Odoamne from Brazil, the guy that got like 5 finals straight and didn't get the title.
Odoamne he won.
I've been playing since like 2010, and I just like retired in 2019 and then joined the broadcast team for the Brazil.
I just had to throw out the meme.
Nah, that's fine. That's the most common thing that people do in Brazil. They just play me every time.
I do want to bring it back to this matchup because we might start off jokingly, and it is friendly between us. But you said it already. Next year looks completely different for the CBLOL and for the LCS because of the merger, and that makes everything a bit more intense, I feel like, Takeshi.
Yeah, and then like the spoiler for this game, it was like the most traditional organization in CBLOL history, Pain Gaming against Team Liquid, which is the one of the most traditional
Been there
ones.
since the start, yeah.
Yeah, so like fighting in a BO3, going like do or die matchup, that's gonna be like insane. And I think Titan has the experience to bring us the victory today.
Yeah, I am more nervous as the day goes on, especially you're talking about having upsets already. Plus also we came in with really high expectations of Team Liquid, and we've already seen some errors and some cracks really form in the games that they've played, coming down to just mechanical errors coming from them. It is both like saving flashes, flashing late, and then in some team fights, the positioning just way too aggressive, especially some of the carries like APA, of course, that's some really big highlight ones. And so Team Liquid, it's this dichotomy of they still have made a lot of smart decisions as a team. So they still get themselves into these good spots, and you still see, gold leads, and you still see them in games setting up for good possible objectives. But then when they go and do the fight, they mess up the fight.
Yeah.
Can we bring the graph back, maybe?
I mean, it's fine. It goes in the middle and then it's bad.
Yeah,
because
it's true.
in these fights, as we see the graph again, it's their mid game being very strong, which makes everyone hopeful. But I will also say their early games aren't nearly as strong as they're used to. So after their powerful mid game, they're not with the gargantuan lead. They're in a slight advantage, and then I'd say like, overall, the team is just trying to play too fast in the actual team fights. They're trying to make, like, APA specifically tried to make the big play in both of those games, failed in both of those games, and like they just got to calm down.
The perspective that we have in Brazil is that APA goes to the impact silent so much, and if that not goes well for them, then they just get lost.
And it's got to go well for them today. Here they are, Team Liquid, taking to the stage, trying to get that first victory, and Pain Gaming with all of Brazil behind them. And you got to kind of love the position that they're in, not the 0-2, but the fact that there are a lot of people that would like to see this upset happen, right, Takashi?
Right, I'm the one of those people for sure. Like, I believe in Titan. I think he has an insane game against T1, soloing Gomayushi in the laning phase in a 2v2. I hope that they did not like put Wizer in a bad spot for this next game, because Impact's gonna be the guy that I'm looking forward to have the potential to carry TL in this match.
For sure, and I would say, like, from a mentality perspective, I'd love to be in Pain's gaming shoes. Like, when you're coming in as the underdog that feels like they have a chance of winning, but if you lose, you're not just going to get flamed all the way home. It's a different mindset to enter games into, and I think that is something that I feel like they're going to be able to leverage.
Yeah, and the mindset for Brazil, generally, like, the pressure is on the planes. I think on the Swiss stage, we didn't get that much pressure. Okay, the god of the draw is not Brazilian for sure, because we got G2, we got T1, and now TL.
Yeah.
But I think that the pressure is much more on Team Liquid side.
It's a good point, actually. You got a very, very difficult draw. The same could go for Team Liquid as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much pressure because of the Americas merger and because of already the trash talk. You want more ammunition for North versus South trash talk, and this is priming us for an entire year
So
next
begin
year.
then, begin.
Yeah,
Shoot a
just
shot.
like Team Liquid lost to the
I don't want to
Minions.
do it now.
TL lost to Minions. We can do it, guys.
So I will say the things that are
Yeon is banned.
most important things to me
on the
in
blue side.
draft, aside from giving away Yone, the thing though, Shocks though, is actually a negative because we're banning it on blue side, and we were worried that APA, because he has not played a Yone game in his entire career, we were holding out hopes that they've been practicing it in secret and they would still be able to use it, but it is a very bad sign that we are banning it on blue side, and we are not threatening that we will first pick it.
I take my excitement back.
Yeah, I'm already a bit worried on that, because the two most important things to me in draft for Team Liquid here are going to be APA's champion pool and getting UmTi on a tank. If we have UmTi on, you know, Sejuani, Maokai, even Skarner, as they actually ban out the Skarner themselves too, so the Sejuani and Maokai, I'm really banking on those. And then APA, because of what we've seen with his positioning in team fights being a big risk, I really want him on something that has mobility. I don't want to see the Syndra again multiple times. You know, he flashed forward or he even just walked forward into very vulnerable positions. So
Maybe Ahri, something like that?
something exactly, something like Ahri, something with any sort of mobility.
Oh, okay, that's
a good ban.
a smart ban.
So yesterday I spoke with Buzio, and he said that we should ban the Sejuani against the TL. So I think that the bans that Ben just did is incredible. We should ban the Yone, but TL just helped us.
They helped you out a lot. Is there anything we have to look forward to that something you'd really like to see on the side of
Like
things?
everyone was banning the Lucian and Jax, so TL first picking Jax, I think it's good for like the TL draft in general. And about playing gaming, generally like we play two sources of engage. If CarioK is playing more like a carry jungler, then Titan goes more for like Jim and Ashe to help us set up things. But if CarioK goes like Maokai, something like that, Titan can go Kai'Sa. And I think Titan is really good on Kai'Sa. We didn't see it before in this championship, and I think that he can bring it today.
It's a Nocturne.
Yeah, could open up for Nocturne Orianna, but I think you want to see what Team Liquid has for AD carry and mage before you commit to that. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Maokai here out of UmTi.
I kind of already like this Nocturne pick, because if you're showing Jax, there's going to be some side lane play. And Nocturne is so good at shutting down side lanes. So regardless of the combo that they put with it,
I wanted this guy for us. And I think like dyNquedo can bring Ahri. I don't think he'll play Orianna that much. He doesn't like that much mages. I think more the Ahri or something like Nico, something like that for him is better than Orianna. He doesn't excels at playing contra mages that much.
so here either we get like a Rell or something, you know, lock our support early, or we go for the APA champion. And I kind of want them to get a good APA champion first. But we'll see.
It would have to be blind, though, if they pick the APA champion here, so they're going to wait in 4-5 and have a few bans kick in. I'm totally fine having the Rell for CoreJJ.
Oh.
Having hard engage is strong.
Okay, that's
I don't love that
a bit. Like, I like the comp, the Nocturne and Orianna combo, but dyNquedo playing Orianna is not like what he excels on. And I think Kuri is probably looking for an Alistar angle. He has an insane Alistar, and he can just like counter the Rell from CoreJJ.
Well,
Let's see.
I think it's getting locked in.
Okay, that surprised me a bit. Let's see.
All right, we definitely need the mobility for APA. Like, this is the thing I'm worried about most in the draft. Like,
Nico.
Nocturne Orianna combos are going to threaten him now, so yeah. I mean, Nico is a good champion for him. Even though everyone's going to look at the Nico game.
It's one of his best picks.
He had big blunders, but most of those blunders were
Okay.
around just, it looked like just being so rushed in team fights and
forced
everything.
errors.
And he could have made those errors on any other champ. So I still think it's a good ban.
I think now we should be worried on like Ahri and Vi combo for the TL, so I would ban Ahri or Vi in here for pain. Orianna does beat Ahri on the laning phase, so they can manage that, but I would take off the Vi if I was them.
Are you happy or sad about the first 3 picks at this point? I'm actually really, I'm liking the first 3 picks from Team Liquid. I'm feeling pretty comfortable with these.
I'm confident as well, but like I'm just a little bit with some fear about dyNquedo's laning phase on Orianna, and they are not like banning the Vi and Ahri. So if UmTi and Appa can do it, I'm worried for dyNquedo.
I really like the bans from Pain here with Maokai and Nico because I was hoping to get UmTi on more of a tank champion. Now he would go more for the comp or what the standard would be, and I'm more expecting to see Vi, Ahri, or something like that.
Vi?
He has played it.
Okay.
I wouldn't say he's played it super well.
That's nice to
He's
hear.
definitely had most of his success.
Okay.
He's mostly had a success on the champions that are currently banned.
Okay, so now we're probably going for the sport here, right? Let's see.
Yeah, they could just take Leona, Nautilus, Alistar, whichever they want.
I love Kuri Alistar. That can
Is
help
there
a
a
bit
power pick
with
80
the
carry that
Orianna.
hasn't been banned out yet that would just be clearly the best?
I think there's like Jim and Nash. Okay, he does love the Ezreal.
And do you love it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't play Ezreal. I do love it. Like his win rate in Brazil is like 90% in like 40 games, something like that. That's like incredible win rate that he has in Brazil. But let's see in this match. I think he has a hard game in here, like Jax, Rell, and Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa can dive Ezreal if they get through them, so that's gonna be a complicated match.
Yeah, I think later on into the game, like Yeon has a very, very high chance of being able to take over, but we'll see about the early stages because it could be painful in lane phase. You're saving your last pick here for the support. So.
There's the Vi that I told you to ban. Pen gaming, why?
Probably Ahri too.
Yeah.
That's just the combo.
Yeah.
Oh, no, your nightmares are coming true.
I don't know why.
We'll see the last pick. You do have to run right after it because I believe you're interviewing paid coach, but you can watch the last pick and
We
then
got a picture coming.
wait,
Wait,
this
Bart?
was awesome. And what do we get?
Oh, that's a risky pick, but
It is.
Kuri likes it as well in the Brazilian scene. But I would go the Alistar in here. I think he is really, really good on Bard, but his Alistar is something else, you know? So I would pick the Alistar here. Let's see. Okay.
Kuri, know your stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Guys,
all right.
I'm going to the Brazilian broadcast.
Yes.
It was a pleasure. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much,
luck, good luck.
obrigada. Awesome. Yeah, what do we think?
I think by the book, Team Liquid's team comp is good, but I'm a little nervous about the execution barrier that they have with the Ahri.
I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, I came in really, really worried, but I actually really like the clear game plan.
Okay, we got a clear game plan, we got a lot of hope, we got a lot of stress. It's a battle of the Americas. Let's head over to our casters.
Let's get ready to rumble. North America versus Brazil in an elimination best of 3 to determine who deserves to still keep playing here at Worlds 2024. Welcome back, everybody. If you're just now joining us off the bat, I'm Captain Flowers, joined by Ezreal and Dagda. Now, gentlemen, let's go ahead and set the stage here because I did ask our stats people to go ahead and look into the history of this head-to-head. Hello. We're going to remove Ezreal's curse today, too, by the way. Don't worry.
We're winning.
There's
We
no
are winning
evil magic
today.
here.
There's no curse.
We're going to remove
There is no curse.
We're going to remove all of that. However, let's go ahead and look into the history of NA versus Brazil at Worlds. I had our stats people dive into it earlier today. The all-time record at Worlds for NA versus Brazil, including in play-ins, is 9-2, favoring North America. So 82% win rate for NA. The 2 losses are the BRTT versus Double Lift matchup back in 2015 and Chat's Team Liquid
losing to INTZ in 2020.
Yep, and Jat even told me that required him to run it down exceptionally hard in draft. He said that they drafted the best Merc Treads team ever.
Renekton, Lilia, TF, Ashe, Thresh.
Yeah.
And then he said
built
they
5
bought
Merc Treads and they lost.
Yeah. So he said just as long as Team Liquid doesn't do that today, he thinks they've got a good shot. And I don't see any of those champions
team, so we're
on
good.
Team Liquid's side. By the way, keep your eyes on the prize here in the bottom lane. The featured matchup presented by Mercedes-Benz, Yeon versus Chitan. This is two dudes who both have the opportunity to step up and really make an impact here in Game 1.
And one thing I will say is I am a little bit nervous about the Impact Jax. Not because I don't think he can play the champion. Yes, he can play the champion. You know, yes, he can perform well on it. But he is just so exceptional on these enablers, on these kind of tanks and more supportive style champions that I never really like when I see him on the carry. And I do think that he does have some really bad tendencies when he is playing carries because he is so selfless. And when you are playing champions like Jax, you need to be greedy. You need to play for your waves, play for your farm, play for your levels. And at times, he'll put himself in these spots where he's just sacrificing for the team, he's over grouping, and then you're going to end up being really, really useless on these types of champs. So we'll see how they can do, but TL are going to initiate lane swap.
They were spotted, though. This is a great ward just as they
going to soak XP. He's not
he
behind them.
sneaked it.
He's just going to stand here. Chitan just checked the forward brushes, so he can just soak all of this experience. He's just going to stand here. He's not going to do anything.
Because I was about to say, CarioK got in and he stole away Raptor camp on the strong side. Actually may even steal away the red buff as well. So CarioK is getting a good amount here for himself. It is answered by UmTi on the bottom side, though. So they're in a similar position, but this is huge for Impact.
Impact is loving this, man.
Yeah. Look at Gnar on the other side. Wizer has to go mid and share XP with dyNquedo. So they actually have solo XP being grabbed by APA. dyNquedo and Wizer are sharing experience, and Impact is going to be getting, you know, all the experience from that first wave. And now with this crashing, he knows that Kuri's probably not here. He's going to walk back. He's going to actually be able to farm the wave, or at the very least soak experience here. This is incredible as far as a start here for Impact.
Yeah, Counter-Strike immediately, forcing the Arcane Shift out of Chitan, sidesteps the Mystic Shot, not farming the wave, but over the wall comes UmTi. Nice early flash from Chitan, makes sure that he avoids the flash Vault Breaker from UmTi, gets himself back, but still, the state of the experience in bottom lane that you're talking about, Ezreal, that's the big story here for Impact.
Yeah, especially because Wizer has already had to burn that TP to get up to that lane to try and match. CoreJJ has moved down to this bottom side, though, so I'm curious if they're trying to set up another play on towards Chitan, but he still has that Arcane Shift. Looks like they're just worried about if there was going to be some sort of double up with Kuri as he starts to move down to this bottom side.
Exactly, and they also don't know where CarioK is, right? So, you know, if Impact is pushing this out, he could get wrapped around on. So I think it is just to give that safety for the crash here. APA taking the bad end and some trades here in mid lane from dyNquedo. Obviously, he was in that 1v2, so you can expect him to be getting pushed in, as he did lose some health, you know, early on from that Gnar. But APA is going to have to go back to base and TP.
You know, UmTi just hanging around, making a quick pass through here as Scuttle Crabs are about to spawn on both sides of the river. Let's see. Pain Gaming does have their jungler down here in this bottom side. Impact and CoreJJ both level 3. However, a 2v3 is not going to feel too great for him. Now with CarioK at level 4. Kuri doing a nice job flashing in for the pulverized headbutt. Impact has to try to escape on this one. Counter-Strike, flashback over the wall. 150 HP left. Team Liquid's top laner gets away.
Really good, though. At the end of the day, that's 3 summoners there from Pain. Flash off Kuri as well as the Ignite and the flash on CarioK just for the one flash there from Impact. So Impact is going to be happy to survive, to get out, and the wave is pushing towards him. So he just TPs right back to the bottom. CoreJJ will be here. There will be no threat with no summons on the Alistar, and Impact's going to be able to collect all of this farm.
And that's what I was going to say is huge for him, because Wizer's just reset, but he's got to walk his little legs up there. Whereas for TL, they just get to collect this entire wave. CoreJJ's keeping him in check, and maybe even engage here.
Just jumping in on Chitan, knowing that he has no flash, he's low on mana. It's not very easy for him to avoid that damage.
And the other thing that's kind of a bit of an untold story so far is the fact that because Impact hid here, got all that XP and defended the tower, not one plate taken by Pain in a lane swap. So it's not only the experience, it's the expectation that you'd be getting all of this gold on that bot side here. You know, because Pain normally, you know, when you have that lane swap, you get that 2v1, 3v1, sometimes 4v1 scenario where you get 2 to 3 plates on bot lane tower.
Yeah, with CoreJJ going down towards the bottom side, though, TL haven't got a plate either, so it's a bit even Stevens in that regard, but you're still opening up a nice CS lead for Yeon, and as you say, the experience and all that extra CS, well, still kind of working out for Wizer in this one.
dyNquedo now under pressure. Ball breaker charged up, doesn't even have to fully commit it. They forced the flash out. dyNquedo knew he had to use that summoner spell, otherwise it would have been a real nasty situation. So getting rid of the summoner there from the mid laner. We'll see if Team Liquid can make good on it before the cooldown comes back.
Nicely done by TL though, going in, putting a little pressure on, not committing any summoners themselves, just the threat of that engage forced out that early flash here from dyNquedo. And now that means you're Orianna against Vi Ahri with no flash. So when they hit 6, there is a bullseye on his back. Pain is going to have to play around him, going to have to really protect him. And we'll see if TL can actually execute on that, because that is the bread and butter of these comps. Low mobility mage here, you got to punish.
And that's why CarioK and Kuri are starting to move up so quickly to this top side, because not only is it just the level 6, it's CoreJJ now opening up on the map. He can be such a threat here. And now, as APA ticks over to level 6, I think that's exactly what they want to do.
CoreJJ stepping a little bit forward. UmTi wants to join him here with a ball breaker, trying to back up his support. Shockwave comes in, but APA wraps around from the side. It'll be first blood over to Pain Gaming, and CarioK's getting paid. Kuri wants to get away, but he's running back into the Team Liquid jungle. A little bit more damage will take him down, and APA's on the board. Yeon needs to keep on running. It's an even trade, but just barely. Yeon popping the barrier at the very end, afraid of that last little bit of damage from the command dissonance. He escapes. Even game.
Yeah, dead even game right now, but it's first blood going over to Pain, and they have the winning HP, so they're going to be able to take the grubs off of this back as well. Pain going to be feeling really happy about how those skirmishes went. Still, TL overall, obviously when you initiate this lane swap, you're expecting to be down in gold. They are not, so not too bad at the end of the day.
The Hex Flash, though, here getting interrupted just barely by CoreJJ, getting that Shattering Strike into the Crashdown, but still the kind of the knock away, right as that ultimate from the Orianna came through, did only catch on to UmTi, and then TL at least are able to come in and pick off the low health bar on Kuri as CoreJJ mounts up to walk away, but that was very close to being a little bit more of a disaster if that knockback onto CoreJJ hadn't come through.
Yeah, and that barrier from Yeon late there, actually on the distance, the damage had already come through, so definitely not perfectly timed.
All right, wave crashing into mid lane, tier 1 turret. dyNquedo just going to keep farming that one up. The first blood did go over to the Nocturne. CarioK having the paranoia ready to go now. This is always one of the biggest points of the game for Nocturne, that first ulti and how much value you get out of it.
Absolutely, but UmTi is now 6 as well. APA is 6. Of course, they have those ultimates, pretty much ready to go here, and there's no flash on dyNquedo still, so we'll see if they can actually find that kill in mid lane. That's where they're going to be looking. We'll see if UmTi can find a play.
Looks like APA still has a little bit of time left on the cooldown for his, so they will have to wait a little bit longer to try and set that up. UmTi back down around the bottom lane now. CoreJJ only level 4, but Yeon is level 6 for the Killer Instinct. Chitan still only level 5 on the Ezreal. Of course, True Shot Barrage not as impactful as an ulti in these melees and these big scraps as the Killer Instinct would be, but a very powerful tool for wave control and team fight damage if they get into a bigger fight. UmTi's going to start up the Drake now, though, for TL.
Yeah, and I like this for TL. He got pushed in mid. You shadow bot side with UmTi to make sure they can get the shove, and it's very difficult for CarioK to actually try and contest this. He was shifting down towards his bottom side, so needs to get his camps to ensure TL don't get both Dragon and this bottom side jungle, but it means he's also not in a position to try and counteract or counter punch on the top side. So overall, just good map movement from TL and good understanding of where CarioK was going to be in the map.
Okay, and as we often see, neutral objectives early on traded between the two teams. Firstly, Grubs went to Pain. First, Drake went over to Team Liquid. The timers are not synced up at all, though, about 3 minutes separating them. So I'm curious if we're going to see much of a fight here for the second set of Grubs.
I think we will, because TL is actually already swapping their bot lane to head up towards top. Impact just gave up that big wave that was pushing towards him, and he's going to allow Yeon to collect that while he heads out down towards bot to collect the wave that will eventually bounce off of Chitan's tower. As APA does spot Kuri there.
And grabs a little bit of damage onto him. Honestly, not a whole lot to write home about. Does have the Spirit Rush ready to go again. Does have Flash. UmTi also with a Flash and ulti of his own. Everything pretty much up on both sides. Impact down here in bottom lane has his teleport ready to join if a fight breaks out up in top side. But remember, the teleports are still not yet unleashed. Should be ready to go by the time the Grubs are also spawning. As you can see, Yeon still just farming up there in the top lane. 60 stacks left on the Cull.
Yeah, and I think Kuri has done a really good job playing around dyNquedo here. He is the most vulnerable member to this R-Vi combo, and They have not been able to find any sort of a go with it so far on the TL side, but you can see Cheaton has moved up. They clearly want to contest Grubs.
Okay.
And it's going to be about this play, though, because Impact has the TP advantage on bot side. Wizer TP down towards bot, so I feel like Pain have kind of botched the setup here a little bit, because as long as he can't get interrupted by the Mega Gnar, he can always TP to join. So if Pain overcommit towards the Grubs, it's going to go really bad for them.
And that's what I was going to point out. It felt like, you know, Cheaton was still down in that bottom side as Wizer TP'd in. So you had a wave where you could have waited for some sort of like walk down, but instead ends up going for it. And now your Grubs aren't even up for another 20 seconds, so Impact should be able to clear this wave and then still be in a position to follow up. The only reason behind I could see it is that they're basically just trying to force feed dyNquedo right now. He got the wave in mid, then transported himself up to that top side, so then he could get another big wave that was crashing there. So it definitely feels like Pain Gaming are trying to get a lot of resources into this Orianna right now.
CarioK stepping up here a little bit. Pain does not want to allow these Grubs to go away for free, but Team Liquid is trying to keep forcing this vision line further and further ahead. You can see they've got a ward in the chicken brush already.
They haven't spotted UmTi, though. Impact could be in trouble.
Yeah, Wizer with a nice slam back into the wall. Wants to throw the boulder. Impact with the flash away. Nearly solo killed down there in the 1v1 bottom lane, but a nice engaged Vault Breaker flash coming out from UmTi. Kuri tries to get away, but APA's got the damage. Team Liquid with a 1-for-0 so far, and a nice charm onto CarioK is going to put him in a little bit of a compromised spot here, too. Fight fades as PNG walk away, one man fewer.
Beautiful Q flash there from UmTi, though. Actually connects on 2 members, knocking them up, getting that damage. Just should be able to get them the Grubs here. But it's also a big win for Wizer on the bot side. He's opened up a 700 gold lead now against Impact, who first picked this Jax, almost got solo killed there, had the flash away to safety, is now down 20 CS and 600 gold.
And I feel like if you've been watching the LCS this year, if you've been tuning in to Team Liquid and how they've been playing, Impact had a monster performance. He won MVP in summer. He was constantly making every other top laner in the league look silly. And now to be made to look the same amount of silliness by his opponent in Wizer, Pain Gaming stepping up.
But it's your most improved player that I want to praise here, because that was a great shift from him, and it feels like whenever TL come off to these early advantages, it's off the back of APA in these roams, like pushing in the side lane, starting to move towards mid. He's looked great on picks like the Talia in the LCS, and now on the Ahri as well. He got that first move. He was the one that helped to set up while dyNquedo was still trying to chase the fight, and if TL can continue to play around APA like they normally do, I think you're in a good spot to continue burning, well, punishing the fact now that you burned Cheaton's flash and also Kuri's as well.
I do agree, but honestly, it is concerning if you start losing that side lane 1v1. The game gets so much harder if you're falling behind in that 1v1. You're getting pressure. There's always the threat of the Nocturne coming in and looking to set up that dive. Plus, we have the Nocturne-Orianna combo, which has been showcased a number of times at Worlds, is incredibly strong, very difficult to avoid, to deal with. You know, TL, they are playing a pretty heavily execution-based comp here, and that is where they have failed at Worlds. You know, this team has put themselves in good spots to win against some of the best LPL teams out there. You know, LNG, they were in a good spot to win. That's the team that went 3-0 first, but at the end of the day, they have failed on their execution. That's what they really need to clean up.
First items coming online in a few different spots. Mid laners have both of theirs. Archangels finish for dyNquedo. Malignance first for APA for the extra ultimate cooldown. Sundered Sky for the buy. Over on the other side, Experimental Hexplate for the Nocturne. We usually see this or the Stridebreaker first. Experimental Hexplate just going to give you the greater amount of stats compared to the active of the Stridebreaker. Up there in the top side, still Impact working on that call, trying to regain a little bit of the money that he's fallen behind compared to Wizer using that one. But the Static Shiv for Yeon, also a pretty big first purchase here for the Kai'Sa with 15 seconds left before the turret plates fall, before the Rift Herald spawns. Mountain Drake still live on the map, and right now it looks like it's Pain Gaming wanting to start it off.
Wizer having popped Mega Gnar, though, could be the opportunity that TL need. You can even see the roam coming down from APA again, just slightly ahead of his opposition, but everyone on Pain Gaming backed away. I don't think they can, you can see they can't contest the Dragon. Wizer having popped that Mega Gnar just makes him so much less of a threat in this fight.
Looks like Pain still hanging around the area. CarioK securing that blue buff for himself. Level 9 on the Nocturne, same as UmTi's Vi. Yeon gonna come over, help UmTi finish this one off. Oh my God, he stole it! An early smite from UmTi, and it's gonna be stolen away by Cheaton, but instead Team Liquid turn to fight. Now they've got the first kill for themselves, but immediately one comes back as UmTi falls. Now APA is stuck behind enemy lines, going in for CarioK. Yeon flies in with a killer instinct, and Team Liquid is up 2 for 1 so far in the fight. Impact wants to go in for the counter-strike, but it doesn't have the stun here just yet. One last Void Seeker, kaboom for Yeon!
It started off as heartbreaking break, but that rebound's looking real good for TL. The steal on the Dragon just clips the edge.
He literally didn't even use smite.
But this engage from CoreJJ was brilliant. The charm follow-up. Then look at the opportunities to get on towards the backline. I got a little nervous when I saw APA dashing towards Pain Gaming, but Yeon supporting his mid laner, going directly in onto CarioK, and it was that 1-2 punch that really sealed the deal for TL.
Exactly, and I think that's why he's diving forward, knowing that the killer instinct is ready, knowing that he's going to have that assistance in the backline, and the major cooldowns are already gone from Pain. Nice play, though, from Titan, and definitely a failed execution there from UmTi. He did not combo his smite. He didn't even press smite. You know, if he just E-smites there, he did it when it was a bit above 900 health, but if you just press E-smite, auto-smite, anything, that's a guaranteed kill. And we'll see if this comes back to bite them later, because now you're set back on that road towards Soul.
You gotta smite the damn Drake. I know that sometimes you might be thinking about min-maxes, save it for later, whatever, but in moments like that, you don't want to be giving away the objectives. Nicely done from Chitan, but now it's dyNquedo in trouble. They wombo combo, a little bit of crash down with Charm, but it's going to be outplayed by Pain Gaming. Looking good up here in the top lane. dyNquedo just making Core and APA look foolish.
This Ahri just doesn't have enough damage in the tank. We saw it yesterday from all of our Ahris. We're seeing it now for APA. When you want to go for these tower dives, there's just not enough to burst down a member.
Okay, now we got a TP coming in for Pain. They want to force the tier 2 down here in the bottom lane. A little bit of extra burn from the 3 grubs. Pain Gaming, they might be down in kills, but they're up in gold. They're outplaying Team Liquid around the map.
And Impact is going to be completely useless. You know, he is completely out of the game. He is, you know, first pick this on blue side. That is where you're putting the prio, and he has just not played it well enough. You know, had a really clever level 1, got the experience, but Wizer has been heavily outplaying him in those side lanes in the 1v1, almost solo killed him, has now taken multiple towers there with the assistance of the team.
UmTi having to flash away there from Kuri as he jumps in for the headbutt pull combo. APA finally going to claim this turret up here in the top lane, but it's still only 1-2 in that count as well.
But it's Pain Gaming showing that they're not out of it just yet. This is a team that many were like, oh, well, they made it to the main event, but Pain Gaming want to show so much more of what they can achieve here. This is the first time we've ever seen a CBLOL representative make it to the main event. They played against our idols in T1 as well, but now they want to try and see if they can go toe-to-toe with TL to boot it.
It has been a long time, but they have made it before. They made it, you know, 8 years since the CBLOL made it, 9 years since Pain made it, so they have made it to that main stage a couple times, but definitely been a long while. And representing their region well here, trying to show that they can take down one of the big dogs here. And gonna look for dyNquedo once again. This time, he does have the Archangel Shield still ready.
UmTi goes over the wall, but the Vault Breaker does not find the target. He uses a very early ulti on the Orianna. dyNquedo's still alive for now, but Yeon goes on a killing spree. The Team Liquid 80 carry 3-0-2, 5 out of 6 kill participation. Really trying to make this one happen as APA goes over the wall, finds Chitan. Gets him down to 150, but can't commit anymore. The paranoia protecting the Ezreal from what would have been death.
Pretty surprised that Chitan didn't actually use cleanse. Like, he just kind of sat through that. Very close to going down.
Calculated.
Ended up working out for him. I mean, you just kind of trade the ultis at the end of the day. Nocturne also very long cooldown here at rank 1. You know, not level 11 just yet for CarioK. So APA is still going to be pretty happy about that.
Especially with a minute until the next dragon, not having that tool available is going to hurt. And when you want to try and set up for this combo between the jungle and mid on Pain Gaming, so nice pick, a nice use of that ultimate from APA in return, and with everyone now resetting, you're getting control over mid, you're starting to set up on this bottom side, you should be able to shift this weight with APA from mid to that bottom side and guarantee yourselves a turret take.
And while Impact is very behind, Yeon and APA both in great positions. Yeon, in fact, has been massive in this game thus far. I think he's played really well at Worlds overall and is now nearly 2,000 gold ahead of Chitan. On this Kai'Sa is set up for success.
Okay, 20 seconds until the Drake spawns. Now, there's not nearly as much pressure on Pain to fight for this as there might have been otherwise. APA immediately getting comboed by Kuri. The Alistar threatening so much follow-up from the rest of Pain. APA forced to use the Spirit Rush. This could put TL in a really bad spot for this upcoming Drake fight. They might just need to surrender it.
Yeah, they have to give it up. You know, APA just playing with fire there. Now going to get his recall stopped. Not really at risk of going down to that. Impact is going to push out topside, but now you got one dragon stolen. The next dragon is actually botched here by a little bit of overconfidence there from APA. Moves too far forward, has to drop the Spirit Rush. And you're not really going to be able to trade much of anything for it. I think Wizer is going to get up there before there's really much threat on the tower, so Impact will get a little bit of chip damage, pull the gold a little bit closer, but They all left him to try to solo it.
Team Liquid does not want to allow Pain Gaming to get this for free. CarioK's going to claim the Drake. He flashes away. He stays alive with about 200 HP. Pain retreating back to the mid lane, but at the same time, Impact is left free farming up at the top side, beating on the tier 2.
This is actually such a misplay from Pain because they had guaranteed themselves the dragon, and everyone's like, okay, CarioK's got it, no problem. No one helps him out. That means not only does Core get in there and force them to actually contest, he has to use his flash, he has to use his ult, and Wizer had to leave top lane to walk back towards the fight because he was thinking there was a 5v5 going to break out. So instead of Impact getting nothing, them getting the dragon, they end up getting a tier 2 tower top, they end up forcing a flash. Yes, Pain still get the dragon, but jeez, that was really kind of botched there.
And look at the gold difference now between Impact and Wizer. That was sitting above 1,000 gold. Now it's only a kill in the difference, and that can definitely change such a big factor in this game for Wizer not having as much control on a side lane as they start to scale towards these, level 14, 15, 16.
I mean, the tier 2 towers are just worth so much gold, right? So, that really did hurt that 1v1. You could say Wizer maybe should have just gone up to defend the tier 2 anyway, but it is always tough when you think, hey, maybe a fight's going to break out, maybe I need to be there. But either way, TL see the opportunity as everyone from Pain just walked out and left CarioK to do it. They go in, they put that pressure on, and now Impact in a much better spot as a result. Yeon's on 2 fully completed items, but Pain fighting well and are winning out in that dragon game.
And for Pain, you can kind of see they're a bit unsure of themselves as to how they want to try and approach the map. They're trying to cover Wizer on that top side, but it's leaving space for APA in the bottom end. There's also multiple members that aren't really holding on to this mid wave as well, so TL now starting to put a little bit of threat on towards there. So I think Pain just struggling on the map state. This was something that was kind of touted for them coming off of their domestic play, was they were get off to these great leads. They had a strong early game, but unsure about themselves when it got to that mid-game scenario. And now against TL, it's coming back to hurt them a little.
All right, 21 minutes into the game, so Baron is live. Pain Gaming trying to make sure they've got control of their own red side jungle, but the bottom lane's in some trouble. UmTi and APA, that's the wombo combo you draft these 2 champions for. Vi and Ahri wiping the Orianna off the map, applying more pressure to the bottom lane tier 2, while CoreJJ and Yeon keep the wave shoved up into the tier 1 in mid lane. CarioK hovering between the 2, but there's nothing to even do about this bottom lane. The tier 2 is deleted, and Team Liquid is 4,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, that's a great play there from TL. And on top, no flashes cost, and on the other side, dyNquedo lost his flash and died, so now it's so hard to play side lane at all on the Orianna here, knowing that Vi is waiting, knowing that Ahri is waiting. Second item gets completed, and it's the book. APA's feeling confident here.
The book of Yap.
Yep.
This is the kind of thing that you're ready.
You've heard of the Death Note. This is the Yap Note.
I did love the idea of him scrolling through to find out what he's going to say in all chat.
He's been quiet so far this tournament because they have been getting the better of him, so not a lot of yapping has come out so far
Maybe
from
that's why.
America.
Maybe that's why.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe the yapping is his power.
Yeah.
You must embrace the yap.
Yeah.
Become one with this.
Exactly. He did pretty well in the LCS, but Yeon working towards that third item. He has been very accelerated. He's going towards that AP variant. I prefer it so heavily over just like full-on AD. Another tower falls here. That's 5 taken off the map by TL as they're going to try to move to pressure the spot side once again. You can see Impact pushing up there, and UmTi was trailing him, but TL happy to just play through these side lanes and keep looking for picks with the Vi.
All right, gentlemen, we are sub 90 seconds away from our next Drake this game. I'm expecting to get another fight for it. Kuri and CarioK trying to maintain the vision in their own red side jungle, as we are also at the point of the game where these buffs become team-wide, so grabbing the red's going to feel pretty good for everybody. Team Liquid taking the chance to secure the Scuttle Crab here in the top side river and all the extra vision that also provides. UmTi picking up the red for Team Liquid at the same time, as these timers are pretty well synced up. CoreJJ and APA staying pretty close together as the Scryer Trinket is used by Pain just to make sure Team Liquid's not trying to sneak an early Baron.
Exactly. I mean, when you see a Kai'Sa this fed with the Rage Blade, Baron does die incredibly fast. Of course, they don't know where the Vi is, so they don't realize that UmTi's not on the side of the map, and Teal wouldn't be doing it. Impact maybe going to find an angle here. We'll see if he gets spotted out. Kuri could be in trouble.
Yeah, Kuri finds Yeon, headbutts him back. Loses the aftershock there now. Immediately they jump on the Alistar. Unbreakable Will does not live up to the name. Yeon goes on a rampage. Team Liquid with a free pick.
They were trying to set up for the dragon that's about to spawn, hoping that maybe they could threaten TL into some of these positions. They get a ward down, but it ends up costing Kuri's life because he can't get the reset, and now it's a Baron instead of a dragon.
Team Liquid know they have the man advantage for the next 10 seconds. It's a support that's dead, so it's not like he can TP in either. At the very least, they're going to force Pain to step up and make them stop. Team Liquid, though, already have the Baron down to 3K. CarioK trying to use the Nocturne ulti to go into the pit. Impact's already going to be killed off as APA tries to get away. CarioK's still down to the pit. Yeon needs to grab the damage. The Baron is going to go over to Team Liquid. Wizer still trying to fight, but Yeon's going to outplay him and slay him. He has to try to retreat now. CoreJJ going to cover that exit. There's only 2 men left alive on Team Liquid, and one of them has to die. It's Baron for TL, but at the cost of 4 dead bodies.
And Pain are going to get soul point here as well. Pain are really starting to pull back in this game. TL decided to just go for the flip here. Basically, APA is trying to zone, but look at this combo into the backline. CarioK gets in there with Chitan's ultimate coming over the top. They burst out multiple members, and it's only thanks to the heroics of Yeon here, dodging out with the ult, with the barrier, kills off Nocturne before he can smite the Baron and kills the Baron himself, or this would have been an unmitigated disaster for TL.
The fact that you get that damage on a CarioK, like, he got the smite, but it was like basically panicked to be like, I'm about to die, give me something. Yep. But that turnaround for Pain Gaming, that's so much gold. And as you say, Dragon now 2, and the opportunity to get back out onto the map.
They didn't do the Dragon. I think that's a mistake.
Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah.
Yeah, Dragon's alive.
Because I was about to say, when you look at the items for this Orianna now, she's got the Storm Surge. She's going to be working up towards the potential Rabadons or the Shadow Flame next. She's now been accelerated thanks to that gold. And now you're in a position where Pain Gaming are able to potentially fight back with some good combos.
And I want to rewind the tape a little bit, Ezreal. You said, back with that Drake. We'll see if they end up regretting this later. If that smite, or lack thereof, comes back to bite them. And yes, sir, it has. Soul Point now demands Team Liquid's attention in the Drake pit every 5 minutes for the rest of the game.
Exactly. Little things in League of Legends can build up to become incredibly big problems here. And that stolen dragon, that mismite by UmTi, means now you are 1 mistake away from giving over Ocean Soul, and that's a permanent buff here. You know, TL still in the driver's seat, still heavily ahead in gold, but taking, you know, plays that I think it feels like they're behind. You know what I mean? Like the plays that they're kind of taking at times, like going for that Baron on a flip. We're up 6K. You could just play for the turn.
Yeah, I think seeing that Kuri was down there, like, oh, well, that's kind of their quote-unquote engage tool, but kind of forgetting about the mid-jungle combo and learning to regret it, but still, at least getting some use out of this Baron buff, because you can still see for the Red Bull Baron power play, up about 1,200 gold, which, when you lost that many members, definitely helps out that it's managed to recover just a slight bit. But still, the base will not be cracked, and I think that's kind of the saving grace for Pain Gaming, where they do get time to continue to scale.
And you could see, though, when the vision was toggled, Pain Gaming does not have a whole lot of lights on across Summoner's Rift right now, so they got to be careful as they slowly creep forward, take back control over their own side of the map. This Baron is going to dissipate here in about 15 seconds. APA still farming up in the top side. The problem is with that Baron fight, too, that book has no pages. It's a cover and a cover. The thing is empty.
Bad book.
Not exactly what you want to be working with here on this Ahri. Team Liquid still about a 5,000 gold lead, but if Pain Gaming gets this soul here in 3.5 minutes, that pretty much erases all of that value.
Yeah, basically entirely, and you know, a lot of what Yeon's build is about poke, right? And Ocean Soul says, well, I don't care about that, so that becomes definitely very problematic. Of course, you can still win with soul, and there's no guarantee that they'll give it up, but TL gonna have to play really heavily towards it, and off that string of plays, Wizer again created a pretty big advantage for himself. He's now up over 1,000 gold over Impact again. It's really all up to Yeon and APA, these young NA carries here on TL that they put so much faith into, that have improved tremendously over this last year. They have got to show up and carry this game.
And that's why I think Yeon has to be so careful when he's trying to get control of this mid wave, because if you end up with a Nocturne coming over the wall, the Orianna ult, you're suddenly finished, and a lot of this is TL trying to play this 1-3-1, but it does leave them vulnerable if they don't get the waves in the right order. At the moment, they are doing a good job. You can see nobody kind of pressing too far forward, and there's always that core of the AD carry, jungle, and support working together, but one misstep and Pain Gaming can pounce.
3 big purchases right now, though. Seeker's Arm Guard on both the Jax and the Kai'Sa. Huge for avoiding that combo, that assassination torpedo that you're talking about. But also, Rabadon's Death Cap done for the Ahri in mid lane. APA does a significant amount of damage with this in Shadow Flame after that Malignance for the original ulti cooldown.
And Wizer just picked up his Wit's End and a Giant's Belt on top, so he is getting very tanky now at this point. That's Mertreads, that's, Sterix. You really are going to struggle to deal with this guy, and there's actually quite a bit of magic damage over on the TL side. Obviously, Jax is mixed, Ahri is pure magic, Kai'Sa is pretty mixed as well here, so not going to be easy to deal with this Gnar. Has created a pretty big problem for himself, and yeah, you do have that Seekers on Jax. That is great for that potential 5v5, but Zonies is not a strong 1v1 item, and Wizer's just going to take even more prominence in that side lane.
Yeah, I gotta praise Wizer for just how much better he's played this first game than Impact. 0-1-2 for the Jax, 2-1-2 for the Gnar. Wizer is up over 60 CS compared to Impact, but now CarioK could be in a little bit of danger. There's not enough firepower from Team Liquid nearby to finish off this kill, but APA, that's what I'm talking about. That's the amount of AP that he's managed to build up on this Ahri. Can pose a serious threat to so many targets on Pain Gaming. You can see this tier 2 turret nearly dead. The burn from the Void Mites nearly taking it out, but not quite there. It is 60 seconds until the soul for Pain Gaming spawns. Team Liquid must be ready to answer this because Pain would love to pick up this buff.
But that's why we're not seeing TL overextend for this turret or try and use any of these big spells right as that objective is about to spawn. They just want to try and keep Pain Gaming in the dark and in their own base, and they've been doing a decent job so far, but APA just need to be a little bit careful, as Pain now should be looking for their own resets to try and finish off some of the vitals. Cheaton just got his third. You're still looking at nearly that Sonya's complete for dyNquedo.
And I'm kind of waiting for Impact to reset. He's been on the map for a long time here, with way less items. It's 3.5 over on Wizer's side. He only has a 1.5k deficit, so he should have enough to complete an item. We'll see if he can actually get back in base in time to be able to do that, as TL, again, clearing out some vision over on this Baron side of the map, but wouldn't want to see them play for Baron and trade for Soul. I just don't think it's worth it whatsoever, giving over that permanent buff. But they are going to be starting it up here. We'll see if they can do this one a little bit more cleanly than the last time, as Pain are just moving down towards Soul, and I think it is going to be that trade I was talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to get so much done with this for it to be worthwhile, because the Ocean Soul is forever. They're going to try to get here to contest, but I think it's too late.
APA is teleporting down. Team Liquid, they aren't going to be able to challenge for the Drake, but they do want to try to kill Pain afterwards. See if they can manage to get some sort of a punish here, but they're not there in time. Kuri, the only man lagging a little bit behind. Void Seeker shot off. Not going to find any contact with that one. UmTi coming around for the pincer assault. Yeon and Impact still chasing. UmTi over the wall, channeling the Vault Breaker. Jumps in, but he won't find nothing. Immediately counterattack coming out from Pain Gaming. UmTi loses his Sterix, loses his Flash. Team Liquid loses their chance, and Pain Gaming get the soul and get everybody out.
I mean, it's just a horrible call from Team Liquid. It's not anywhere close to a game-ending Baron here. I don't understand why they feel from an advantage. They're up 7,000 gold. Yeah. Why do you feel you can't actually just fight for the dragon there? It really makes no sense whatsoever. And it's a frustrating play to watch here from a team that is normally so good on the map. That's how they were getting advantage against these LPL teams.
But it's also, they just burned both their teleports. They're now trying to spread out on the map and get full value out of this Baron buff. It's going to be really difficult, and Pain kind of realizing that. They're happy to contest TL as they move in towards this jungle, but I think as TL, you kind of have to group.
I mean, the gold lead is irrelevant now, right? So now you've thrown away your entire advantage that you built throughout this game through a missed smite and a bad call on a trade of Baron for that. So we'll see if TL can get a lot from this Baron, because they absolutely have to, or their advantage is gone. If I'm Pain, I'm just waiting it out. Just sit back in the base, a minute 30. Great, you can take some jungle camps. I don't care. I just got 4,000 gold worth of stats from the Dragon Soul.
And I like the fact that you brought up earlier, Isaac, it nullifies a big advantage of the Kai'Sa, specifically the style of build that goes heavily into the AP. Those Void Seekers are normally obnoxious. They can force you out of situations that you could otherwise contest, but Ocean is so good at just completely getting rid of that X factor. Impact is trying to split push up here in the top lane, but again, he's just so far behind. He has struggled so much to find any relevance in this game, and Team Liquid just seems completely out of sorts.
There we go, the engage.
Paranoia down into the bottom lane. APA is going to get caught. He's already fleeing. And CarioK and dyNquedo pick them off.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. The 1-3-1 is so difficult thanks to this Nocturne, but they turn on top.
They want to go after Wizer. He just turned back into Gnar, but the Sterix is enough to keep him alive. Team Liquid is going to hard force down the tier 3 turret in the top lane, but they won't get anything else. Shattering Strike on Kuri to stop the Alistar from moving any further forward. CarioK's coming up around the side, but without Paranoia, he can't find any way to jump on Team Liquid here. So it'll be a trade. APA for a tier 3 turret.
And at the end of the day, it's not too bad for Pain whatsoever. Impact, though, overstays.
This could be really good for Pain. Never mind. Impact jumps out. I'm just going to be blunt here. The way that Impact has been playing so far this game, every time he gets caught, I'm thinking he's dead. This feels like a totally different Impact from what we saw domestically.
I mean, just look at the farm difference in top lane, right? You know, you're playing the Jax. Again, this is kind of a problem where you're playing the Jax to be able to have side lane prio. You know, he's spending so much time moving towards the team, trying to threaten flanks, trying to do these things. Guess what? You're falling more and more and more behind in farm. Even if you find that flank, at a certain point, it doesn't matter because you're useless.
And the fact that now Baron has just faded off them and you haven't even cracked an inhibitor gives a ton of opportunities for Pain Gaming to continue to play out the map state. And as long as it's Wizer who's protecting that top lane, he's always going to be in a position where he should be finding the 1v1 and able to teleport in.
Absolutely, and I think the game now has gotten to a state where it's basically just going to be a flip for Elder, right? TL basically need the Elder to actually win the game. So now you're taking a fight at Dragon, you know, at a point where it's basically equal, instead of taking the one you could have taken 5 minutes ago when you were up 7K.
Well, we've also got that ever so nerve-wracking state of League of Legends where both super buffs will be spawning almost at the exact same time. It creates this really tense macro state where teams have to try to juke one another, try to lead the guy down the wrong path and see if you can manage to sneak one of these away. Sometimes it ends up getting traded, sometimes not. CarioK getting away here with a blast cone. UmTi thinking about chasing him, but there's just no point in trying to press R on the guy when he still has spell shield. Kuri gonna walk up, face check here, finds APA, Core, and UmTi. Kuri jumps in, true shot barrage over the top of 3. Pain Gaming are going in, and Team Liquid's gotta be careful about it. They try to jump back away. APA's nearly killed already, and Pain Gaming are looking good. Impact has to try to retreat. APA's still almost dead, but Yeon is dominating, and the Alistar is out of the picture. It's +1 for Team Liquid, and they're still thinking about some more. APA's about to die. He jumps back in for the charm, but Yeon's ready to go with the killer instinct. Sheetan over the wall. Yeon goes godlike. This kid will not lose. A double kill back over to Yeon. A triple kill back over to Yeon. Whatever else happens, he is stepping up.
9-0-2 on the Kaisa with the game on the line. Yeon takes over. Flashback to Last Worlds. Disappointing performance from him. He is refusing to lose.
Pain Gaming put up such a good fight against Team Liquid, but at the final fight, Yeon makes it happen, and TL takes game 1.
The charm on the Alistar engage from APA set up beautifully for Yeon. What a team fight for the NA boys.
Holy moly, NA versus Brazil is delivering here in game number 1. We got more League of Legends coming your way. Coming up next, we're tossing to a break right now. Do not go anywhere.
Red Bull gives you wings.
And if you're wondering why I move the way I do, I just feel so good.